Now I'm going to talk a little bit about the profiling capabilities of Codewarrior. So for the 8-bit stuff, it's not a phenomenal tool, but it's something that can be useful to get an idea, especially if you experience a problem and you want to know where some section of code is eating up all the time that's being used. So basically, I'm running the debugger right now, and I've modified my code a little bit to make some of it time dependent. So I'll go ahead and show that to you in a moment. So the first thing I do is open up the window component for the profiler, and it tells me code profiling and coverage is not selected. So this is probably not intuitively obvious, but the easiest way I know to get there is to open the trigger settings dialog, and then under the trigger settings the default is automatic, but then there's this profiling and coverage mode. So you set that, hit OK, and now your profiler window has your various source files along with the functions that are contained within. So now if I were to say go, it's actually doing this in the background. You actually have to tell it to do a timer update. So now it's updating the code as we speak. Another thing that you can do in here is under details you can say source, and that'll show you what's going on within the source code. So like right now in this function 2, I can see what percentage of that 20 some odd percent is being done in which parts of the code. And additionally, you can also do the same for the assembly window, so you can see what's going on here based on that. And as you can see, this section of code here, which is actually called func1, is taking up most of the time. So I have this based on, it's essentially a loop based on a potentiometer value. So if I change the potentiometer value and crank it all the way down here, I'll just reset this guy. Now function 1's not doing anything because my potentiometer is down at 0. So in this case now function 2 is taking all the time. Now you can change the value of the pot and see that this changes. I'm slowly rolling it up right now, but I think that there's a bit of averaging that goes on. It takes a little while for this thing to catch up. So for a case where you have something that spuriously goes for a long amount of time just once in a while, it's going to wind up looking, I think, like an average of something higher. So you're not going to get the same result that you would get with a profiler that was looking at it continuously, or at least at a real high speed, real time rate. Obviously you're low pass filtered by the display, even what you put up on the display. So there's going to be a little bit of that. So I just say that as a warning. If you really want to look at a function to understand exactly how long it's taking, the best thing to do is either to put in a real-time counter and spit out that value somewhere, or my personal preference is usually to toggle a GPIO or something in order to tell what state, just how long you were within a certain function. So this gives you the ability to find out within a pretty decent order of magnitude of where you're spending your time, but is not likely to catch that one-time event where the function takes much longer than normal. So hopefully that helps a little bit, and again, if you have questions you can always call me. So that's it. Thanks.